Picture yourself clinging to the railing of a Spanish galleon in 1588, salt spray stinging your face as the horizon erupts with enemy sails and storm clouds. You're part of the mightiest fleet ever assembled, Spain's unstoppable armada, and you're about to make history. Except not in the way you're probably thinking. A freak storm and a ragtag English Navy will smash it all to pieces, sending shockwaves that topple an empire. That one wild moment didn't just sink ships, it flipped the fates of Spain, France, and Britain, launching a roller coaster of power, betrayal, and epic showdowns. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jay, and today we're diving into these wild stories and more in this episode of Empirical Empires on what they teach you in high school. Let's get into it. As we've learned, empires are born from bold moves and big dreams. In 1469, Spain's spark came when Isabella I, an 18-year-old with unshakable resolve, married Ferdinand II, a cunning 17-year-old prince. Their union merged Castile and Aragon, creating a unified Spain. By 1492, they'd crushed the Moors in Granada and set Christopher Columbus west, kicking off an empire that stretched from Mexico to Manila. The rise of empires like Spain depended on a unified leadership, territorial expansion, and access to new resources. Under Philip II taking the throne in 1556, Spain turned silver, 180 tons a year, into muscle, demonstrating how empires grow by leveraging strategic decisions and economic opportunities. Meanwhile, England's Elizabeth I, crowned at 25, watches hungrily, sending privateers like Francis Drake to raid Spanish ships. Sailors dodged Drake's cannons in 1577, their hearts pounding as Spain's rise is met by England's growing ambition. Spain experiences a golden age under Philip II in 1588, with palaces like Escorial and cultural gems like Cervantes' Don Quixote. At its peak, Spain achieved significant cultural and economic prosperity, supported by military power and its people bonded by the Catholic faith. Silver flooded their economy from their vast territories abroad. Across the Channel, England's rise accelerated, grounded in a new form of Christianity brought about by King Henry VIII's conversion from Catholicism to Anglicanism. And in response, the Spanish set sail with their vast navy to enforce their imperial will on a rising superpower. The Spanish Armada, a massive naval fleet consisting of 130 ships and nearly 30,000 men, aimed to invade England and overthrow Queen Elizabeth I and assert Spanish dominance and Catholicism across Europe. However, due to really bad weather, logistical difficulties, and the superior tactics of the English Navy, led by Sir Francis Drake and Lord Charles Howard, the Spanish naval fleet was defeated. For Spain, the defeat marked the beginning of the decline of its naval supremacy, weakening its position as a dominant European power. For England, the victory boosted national morale and confidence, paving the way for increased exploration, colonization, and the rise of English influence on the global stage. But not if France has anything to say about that. As Spain stumbled, France stepped up. Louis XIV, crowned at 5 in 1643 and ruling alone by the age of 23, turned France into a powerhouse, building Versailles in 1682, a 2,300-room monument to absolute control, and grabbing Spanish lands in the 1667 War of Devolution. France's empire stretched from Canada to Senegal, and its rise was fueled by strong centralized government and colonial expansion, two essential factors in a rising empire. However, England wasn't far behind. Its colonies in North America and the Caribbean swelled, driven by trade and grit. Spain's weakening position due to rapid inflation and a weakened military highlights how empires can lose momentum when they fail to maintain economic and military strength. By 1756, France and Britain hit their golden stride and collided in the 7 Years' War. More on that in a moment. France, under Louis XV, boasted Enlightenment thinkers like Voltaire and a sprawling colonial network. Britain, powered by its navy and leaders like Robert Clive, a 32-year-old dominating India, matched it with industrial muscle. At their height, France and Britain expanded their global influence through military and economic power. France enriched itself in its Canadian provinces until Britain seized Quebec in 1759. That whole 7 Years' War thing we were talking about. By 1763, Britain had gained dominance in North America, snagging Canada from France and Florida from Spain, who had allied with France and also lost the 7 Years' War. But no empire stays golden forever. Cracks widen into chasms. In 1776, France spotted Britain's weakness when its American colonies rebelled. They bankrolled the fight, sending ships to George Washington to bleed Britain dry. By 1783, the colonies had thrust off the authority of the British crown, a royal gut punch to Britain. But France's victory came at a brutal cost. War debt sparked riots, pushing it towards collapse. France's decline was accelerated by economic pressures from funding foreign conflicts, which destabilized its government. And by this point, let's all be honest, we're not even surprised. This is classic overreach, folks. We've seen this all before. Britain staggered, but pivoted to India, while Spain's colonies eyed freedom. France got a second wind in 1799 when Napoleon Bonaparte, a 30-year-old general, grabbed power, crowning himself emperor at 35 in 1804. He stormed Europe, dragging Spain, now a reluctant ally, into chaos with an 1808 invasion. Britain, with its Industrial Revolution humming, and the Duke of Wellington leading, met Napoleon at Waterloo in 1815, ending his reign. Napoleon's fall demonstrates how an extensive military campaign can exhaust an empire's resources, leading to collapse. France's golden dream faded. Britain's peak held, for now. And I want to pause and say, just in case I haven't made it totally clear by now, even the toughest, biggest, baddest empires crack under their own weight eventually. I mean, all of them. Britain's golden age under Queen Victoria, crowned in 1837, dazzled with industry and colonies, but World War I in 1914 and World War II in 1940 racked up nearly £7 billion in debt. India gained independence in 1947, and shout out to Gandhi, one of my absolute top historical heroes. Suez flopped in 1956, and France fought to hold Algeria till 1962, losing it in blood, while Spain, a shadow since 1713's Treaty of Utrecht, faded out. The fall of these empires was driven by economic exhaustion, colonial independence movements, and shifting global power dynamics. And as always, that's what I've got for you guys today. Spain's 1588 Armada loss lit England's fuse. France's 1776 proxy war bruised Britain, but broke itself. Britain outlasted them only to fall to its own costs. The cycles of rise, peak, and fall in these empires reflect patterns of growth through expansion, prosperity at their height, and decline due to internal and external challenges. Hey guys, this is the last episode in our exploration of empirical empires. However, we've yet to touch on one very significant empire, but we shall. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on what you thought about the rise and fall of these empires. What they teach you in high school will be back again, and next time we'll be exploring perhaps the greatest empire the world has ever known. Peace.